Hi, I'm live. Good morning, guys. Surprise, surprise, surprise. It's been a while, but I'm here. I wanted to drop in today into a quick video. There'll be probably part two and maybe part three to this because I do not want to stay on too long attention span, but also the type of information. But today is very simple. Just because of a few conversations I've had, I thought maybe I should do some videos about this just to kind of help folks remember. Many folks are on all sorts of medications and they are not always aware of common foods or supplements they may be taking that will interact with the medication. Either the food or supplement is making the medication less effective or is making it way more effective for its dosage. I hope that makes sense. And then sometimes you are told to eat on an empty stomach or with food, depending on the medication. Eating it with food kind of compete with the medication being available, being absorbed in your intestine and then getting distributed to wherever it needs to go. Or if you take it, so you take it on empty stomach, depending on the medication, or you need to take it with food to actually help with the absorption and also maybe mitigate side effects. So there are various reasons, but I will not go too deep into details. I'm just going to list some common medications and things we may take or eat that may interfere with the medication in question. Sometimes you may have some side effects that are only happening because of something you may be eating, right? Of course, at the MPH, we are big on trying to really help you be knowledgeable enough where you don't necessarily need to be packing on medication after medication if you can avoid it, especially if it is from a source of ignorance or confusion. And by ignorance, I mean not knowing how to go about things or how to take things and stuff like that, changes to make in your lifestyle. So let me jump right into it. Of course, I'm going to start with the diabetics. I have a little spot for diabetics. So I will just touch on a couple classes today. And of course, I'm picking out my notes because there's a lot. But common medication, I don't see micronase or diabinase or even diabeta that much anymore. But if you happen to be on those, glucrotol, Amarel, if you happen to be on those, you want to try to take this at least 30 minutes before you eat, okay? If you can, take it 30 minutes before you eat and try not to skip your meal. Really, you should not be skipping your meal once you take those. They are diabetes medications, so they are of course working on your blood sugar level one way or another. So medications such as diabeta, micronase, glucrotol, which I still see a lot of, Amarel, which I still see a lot of, that's glipizide, glimepiride. You want to try to take it at least 30 minutes before you eat, okay, if you can. That's the best way to go about it. And then the common one, metformin or glucophage. That one, you want to take it with food. You want to take metformin or glucophage with food. And a little consideration, if you happen to be on the newer class of Ozempic or Mounjaro or such, okay, those injection, once weekly injection type things, and you find yourself struggling with severe constipation, you really want to bring that to your provider's attention, okay? Bring that to your provider's attention. And I always tell people, because folks get excited about the weight loss when they're on those medication, and if you are diabetic, you might be on it And definitely that's not, but I always tell people while you are taking the medication and it's helping you lose weight, this is where you really want to try to retrain your brain in eating the right thing too. So just because you find yourself eating less and you are still losing weight doesn't mean that you should keep eating a bunch of junk because you are losing weight anyway. Things never work that way. You still have to make the modifications, okay? All right. Now, I'm going to jump into what we call the cardiovascular drugs. So it really has to do with blood pressure, heart function, circulation, okay? And I'm going to have to take a good look at my notes here because I need a nap. Digoxin. Oh, yes, digoxin is one of those you want to not eat high fiber food with that medication. If you are going to eat something high in fiber, try to take it at least 2 hours. Okay, if you are going to have brand cereals and all the other food with high fiber, really you want to try to time it 2 hours before you take your digoxin if possible. Most folks take the digoxin in the morning, but they don't realize eating high fiber food really decrease the efficiency of the digoxin. So you may find yourself needing a higher dose when in fact you are eating something that's competing with the medication. So that's one if you are taking digoxin, okay? Another name for digoxin is lanoxin. All right. And also try to avoid appetite suppressant. I mean, I say try. Discuss with your doctor, but Okay. Another one, isosorbide dinitrate or dinitrate. I say isosorbide dinitrate. Take it on empty stomach. Take it on empty stomach. Again, all this recommendation is for getting the best out of your medication. So you don't find yourself needing higher doses when in fact it's because you are eating things or taking things that are interacting or decreasing the efficiency of those medications, okay? That's why I keep saying try. So isosorbide dinitrate, take it on empty stomach if you can. And if you cannot, give it at least 30 minutes before you take it, if you can, okay? Medications like Lipitor, Zocor, Pravastatin, Simvastatin. Avoid grape juice. Avoid grape juice. Grapefruit juice. Oops. Avoid grapefruit juice. Avoid grapefruit juice. Same thing for medications such as Norvasc, Procardia, I have to look here, Verapamil, diltiazem. Avoid grapefruit juice with those. That's a big one. Those are big one, and I'm not going to extend on it. And I'm sure those are the one typically most provider will tell you that really you want to avoid grapefruit juice because at this point it really increases your level of potassium. And so I once took care of a patient that was an avid grapefruit juice drinker, and I mean several cups a day. So he had nearly lethal level of high potassium. Of course, he was ignoring his symptoms for a good while before he showed up, only to find. And, he said, I did not know. So this is one I insist on. You want to really try to avoid that when you are taking those medications, of course. And then cholestyramine. Sometimes you take it to help you with cholesterol. That's one of the reasons why you find yourself being on it. You want to take other medication. You want to take it by itself if possible. So you want to take other medications at least 1 hour before you take the Questran or cholestyramine. 1 hour, or if you are not able to take those medications before your Questran, you want to try to take it 4 to 6 hours if you are going to take your medication after your question. So let me repeat. Take all your other medication at least 1 hour before your question. But if you have to take question first, then try to take your other medication 4 to 6 hours after your question. Evidently, the first option is much easier. So just a little tip there. I think everybody knows about the medications, the captopril, enalapril, lisinopril, monopril, quinapril, lepril, and then those ending in sartan. Your ACE and your ARBs classes, as we call them. I just say ACE and ARB, we are not going to go into inhibitor and things. But those medications, you want to avoid eating large amount of food high in potassium. And you also, guess what? Salt substitute is typically high in potassium. Unless you find one that's lower in potassium, you want to try to avoid those when you are on these type of medications. And these are such common medication. I'm going to say some of them. Captopril, enalapril, lisinopril, monopril, quinapril, ramipril, candesartan, rosartan, telmisartan, valsartan. So those medications you want to try to, avoid food high in potassium, including salt substitute. And I know you are already trying not to eat salt because you are trying to control the blood pressure, and this substitute is high in potassium. So be mindful of that. That's gonna be all for today. I don't want to babble on too much. If you have any question, concerns, whatnot, drop me a message or comment or email. Okay, and if you need to share this with anybody, this video will be up later on the YouTube channel, so that's shareable. Otherwise, I'm starting with you guys. All right, everybody have a wonderful day. Bye bye.